Spurge here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the new Klim Outlander GTX boots available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see in front of me is the new Outlander redone version from Klim. This is replacing the previous version of the Outlander GTX boots. Price has increased about 20 bucks. So they previously were around $280. These are going to take a jump up to around the $300 price point. Do keep in mind that RevZilla does have that price match guarantee. But really what I think you're going to see here is a much nicer boot for a minimal increase in price. Now, we're going to get into all the different changes that Klim has performed here, but really if you're looking at this within Klim's line, just keep in mind that that GTX stands for Gore-Tex, so this is a waterproof, weatherproof boot. This is something that you can use on the bike, off the bike, has a really solid hiking style to it. Now, if you want to bump up to something a bit more adventure focused, you could check out the Adventure GTX boots from Klim. Really what you're going to get there is more of a full height boot for additional protection up around the leg. Now, keep in mind that when we're talking about Gore-Tex, that is a waterproof membrane, it starts just around 2 inches below the top of the boot. So just keep in mind that any waterproof pants that you're wearing have to cover that first 2 inches of the boot to make sure that you're not going to get watered down inside the boot. Gore-Tex can't protect water from coming down around your ankles. Now, if you're looking at this from a sizing perspective, sizes will run from 7 to 14, and they do fit true to size. Now, the one note here are there are no half sizes, which I do think is a bit of a miss on Klim's part. Depending on how you like your boots to fit is really going to determine whether you bump up a size or down a size. I'm a 12.5, and I find it more comfortable to wear my boots a little bit on the large side, so I would bump up to a 13. But again, that's going to come down to personal preference. But if Klim is listening, I would love to see some half sizes incorporated in here for a better fit. When we're talking about the colors, there are 3 different colors available. You're going to see the blacked out version, you're going to see the brown version on my left, and there's also an asphalt and red version available as well. Now, we were talking earlier about some of the changes that you will see with the previous version to this one. First of all, it's just the overall style. I think this boot looks much better. You're going to lose that big, bulky toe box. You still have the TPR that runs all the way around the front of this. You're still going to have a really solid reinforced toe box here, but it just looks a little bit svelter. Now, if you look at the left boot, over here, you are still getting that asymmetrical shift pad. So the TPR on the left side is going to run all the way up over the top to give you extra reinforcement when you're shifting. Also extra grip. If you're out riding in the rain or situations get a little bit muddy, you are going to have extra grip to make sure you have nice, solid, progressive shift feel. Now, taking a look at that toe box and that heel cup, so you will notice a little bit of reduced TPR around the heel. Just a bit svelter of a design. That TPR is still going to come up over the back, and you'll notice now the blacked out reflective looks really solid on this. It kind of blends in really nicely. So you have blacked out reflective at the back, and then also a little pop of blacked out reflective right along the side of the toe on this one. And again, really well done. You can't even tell that that's reflective until you get out to ride. Now, looking at the sole with this, it's about a 6 out of 10 on the rigidity scale. Nothing really has changed there as far as the stiffness. Really solid if you want to be standing up on the pegs or if you're riding all day, but yet comfortable enough that when you get out, you can walk around. So this is going to be their hyper grip sole. And you're going to see a revised lug pattern on this. And really what they did was they revised the lug pattern to be slightly less aggressive, but more strategic in its placement for better grip. You'll also notice at the back here, one of the problems in the complaints from the previous version was that it was getting loaded up with mud and grime. So they actually have this little kind of an escape route for water, mud, grime right down the middle here. And that just helps to expel any kind of material that would normally get locked up. And you can see, again, the lug pattern has been completely revised over the previous version. So what I like about this is that you can walk around in all day, but you are getting solid grip and solid protection when you are using this in the motorcycle. The main construction is probably my favorite part. They actually got rid of the synthetic leather and they went to a nubuck suede. I think it looks sharp, it feels sharp, you're not getting a true leather boot, still Gore-Tex design behind that. The other part of this that I really like is if you look at the BOA system on the previous version, there were like 3 eyelets. It just looked weird. I love the new redesigned eyelets. I love the fact that this kind of goes back and forth a little bit more. And if you've never used a BOA system, what's super simple about this is you pull up and that allows you to get inside the boot. Once you get inside the boot, you push down and you simply ratchet this shut. And this way you have no extra laces flying around. If you've ever been on a motorcycle, the last thing you want to do is have a loose lace. It gets caught up in a chain or a moving part. So I really like the BOA system in the fact that it's easy to use, simple on and off, and you have no extra additional laces laying around. So the only other thing to note here is they revised the protection at the tongue and the ankle cups. It used to be D3O. They went to an XRD foam. The reason for that was the D3O was just bulky and it felt a bit uncomfortable. It didn't flex as easily. The XRD foam is still going to give you a lot of protection around the ankle and around the tongue of the boot itself, but it's less bulky, more comfortable to wear. So when you're looking at all the changes that were made to the Outlander, I think it, one, warrants the price increase up to that $300 price point just for the leather construction alone. And the boot itself looks better and it feels better when you're riding. Still gonna have all the same level of protection, still solid reinforcement at the toe, the heel. And if this is something you wanna wear off the bike as well, it's just a stylish hiking boot style. There's a lot of folks out there that are really into what Klim is doing with their Outlander series. And if you wanna hear more about what they have to say, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting this boot through its paces. Or if you have more questions for which boot is right for you and your riding style, give one of our Gear Geeks a call, 877-792-9455, or shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Klim Outlander GTX boots. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.